I came here in 1990 for an interview. My father is an architect, and my grandfather and my great-grandfather. So I'm the fourth generation of architects. And I came here for 1 year, and I was going to go back and work for my father. That was the aim. And I arrived and walked up the staircase at the entrance. I want to work here. And at the end of the first year, I was working projects in Tokyo, and I was flying backwards and forwards to Japan. And I met my dad and had to say, you know, I think I'm going to stay in London a bit longer. And I've been here for 29 years now. In 1990, the space that we're in was a series of flat tables, and we were drawing with a Mayline drawing board and with ink pens. And we had the model shop, which is still in the main space. Now we are, obviously, everybody has mobile phones, they have iPads, they have laptops, everything's computerized, we have 3D printing, we do visualizations, we do three-dimensional BIM models of our buildings. So the technology has changed hugely. But the initial design process is really still the same. So it still starts off with understanding the client's requirements, the initial sketches, freehand drawings, and then the model making that starts the project off. So there's still a kind of early searching for the design ideas, and there's still a process of looking at options as we do that. We'd like to do what we call no surprises architecture. So what we mean by that is that if we can develop with right the way from the first initial models and sketches, and then building large pieces, and then large pieces again, and then eventually full-size pieces, then both ourselves and also our client really understands what they're going to get. Trying to make sure that we understand what we're going to get at the end of it, and ideally the client is part of that journey as well, so they're there looking at it with us and agreeing with us about the choices that we make. What our client was interested in doing was doing kind of vertical lofts in the sky is what we called it. So it was really kind of innovation and technology space, kind of lab type spaces, but rooted in the centre of Philadelphia. So it's kind of plugging into Philadelphia, into its infrastructure, sits above the railway station, is a LEED Platinum, but offers a whole series of much more flexible amenities. It's to attract people in jeans and flip-flops is what the client said. So people, 25-year-olds in jeans and flip-flops is what he was looking for. So creative types that could have come out of Stanford, MIT, could choose about going to Apple or Google, but come to Philadelphia to work for Comcast and work within this incredibly inspiring innovation building. So it was really trying to change. It's kind of a cool place to work, and it's a very attractive place for people in their 20s or 30s to kind of work in, and also to mix, collaborate, and kind of get to know each other and work together, which is really one of the key aspects in the kind of the work environment today. So there was an individual called Ron Dennis, who was really the founder of McLaren and the major owner. And we designed really what was like an operating theatre, if you like, for making cars. And it was incredibly clean, incredibly well finished, using materials that could easily be maintained, that they'd been testing over many, many, many years. The wind blades were made working with his engineers and with us. And he was able to do things that we would phone up manufacturers, and they said, no, it's not possible. He would find a way to do it. And so the whole collaboration with industry and manufacturing meant that we ended up with a much more bespoke and much more special building, and we could actually solve problems together that we couldn't solve on our own, which was kind of a very interesting process. So he had this kind of philosophy about kind of perfection, kind of an idea about doing things to absolutely as best as you can, which really comes from the Formula One car and then the McLaren racing cars that they make since then. We are designing for people. It pushes you because you kind of realize that you can always do things better, and I think also there's the design part of it, but there's also how you communicate, and he's an incredible communicator. I think it's his focus and his energy. I feel very lucky, really, because particularly in a competition, he's really inspirational to work with. Totally inspirational. So that, and we push, and he pushes, and we kind of like question things, and you push things to a new level.